So this lab is going to be the fetal circulation and the lymphatic lab. So fetal circulation, again, figure 32.14. So it's pretty straightforward. Again, you're going to have the placenta. You have the umbilical cord that is going to have the two umbilical veins wrapped around the single umbilical artery. Again, the umbilical artery has the most blood that anybody's going to have coming into the fetus. Once it comes in, it's going to branch into the ductus venosus to be a liver bypass. And again, some will actually go to the liver. They've actually did not do a very good job at coloring this side of it, but your book picture is a little bit better. So our other things that we notice within the fetal circulation that's a little bit different than the adult. Again, you're going to have this guy right here. That is the ligamentum, the ductus arteriosus while it's open, and the ligamentum arteriosum once it has closed. So that's one of the lung bypasses. The other lung bypass is right here. That is going to be the foramen ovale to allow a shift from right to left ventricle, or atria. And when we're done with the fetal time and we get out and about, it's going to close to form the fossa ovalis. And here we have the umbilical arteries coming off of the internal iliac arteries going back out. So what we need to know on this, again, being able to identify them by structure. Again, your lab book's a little bit more detailed than this picture. Also, I might ask, what does this structure become? So what does the umbilical vein become? What does the umbilical artery become after the baby is born? So a lot of word questions. So the next chapter is blood pressure. Okay, so we have this sphygmometer. Again, so this is your blood pressure cuff. So exercise 33. Figure 33.1 just kind of puts everything together, showing you where we have pressure changes. Not a real important picture. Figure 33.2 shows you where to listen to heart sounds using a stethoscope. I didn't put a picture of the stethoscope on because I'm going to guess that we've all seen one, since they're in even pretend doctor kits when you're little. So I might ask you, where would I listen for the valves for one of the questions? Figure 33.3 shows you the different locations of pulse. So again, I might ask you, where above the belly button can I feel a pulse? Where in the leg can I feel a pulse? So word question. This again is that sphygmometer, so blood pressure cuff. We have to say sphygmometer, we can't say blood pressure cuff. So this is over here on activity 5. So you can skip activity 4 and skip activity 3. So activity 5 tells you how to do blood pressure. So definitions, again, we have sphygmometer. We also have sounds of corticoff. That's what you're listening for when you use a blood pressure cuff. Those first tapping sounds that are going to give us systolic pressure. So I might ask you, what is this? What do I use it for? What am I listening for? So word questions. 33.9 just shows you how to take blood pressure. So straightforward. You can practice that at home if you have access to material. If not, not a big deal. Lymphatic system is the next chapter that's on this practical. You're completely skipping exercise 34, so don't even look at it. So exercise 35. So the lymphatic, we only have one model, so there's going to be a lot of word questions. So figure 35.1 shows you the vessels, shows you what's drained by the thoracic duct, what's drained by the right lymphatic. Again, those could be word questions. 35.2, ignore completely. Organs of the lymphatics, figure 35.3. Again, I can ask you to name a lymphatic organ in the head, or name a lymphatic organ associated with the intestines. So word questions. This is a model of the lymph nodes. So this is 35.4. We're ignoring picture B. We're looking at picture A. So when we look at this, all the structures coming in are the afferent lymphatic vessel. Remember, afferent means towards. We have a single efferent lymphatic vessel. That means leaving. So afferents come into the lymph node. Efferent leaves the lymph node. This is the hilus or hilum. That is the dent in the lymph node. So they're kind of like a kidney bean. And those are the vessels. The layers of a lymph node, we have the capsule on the outside, then we're going to have the cortex, and then we're going to have the medulla, kind of like a peanut M&M has the thin candy coating, the chocolate, and the peanut. So the medulla would be the peanut, the cortex would be the chocolate, and the capsule would be the thin candy coating. These circle structures are the germinative centers. Germinative centers are also known as nodules. They are interchangeable. So germinative center are nodule, where we're going to make little baby B cells. So we're going to have proliferation or mitosis of B cells. Other things on that picture you can ignore. So you do not have to know the lymphoid follicle or the subscapular sinus towards the top of the lymph node picture. Under the medulla, you just have to know medulla, so you don't have to know medullary cord or medullary sinus, and you do not have to know the trabeculae. Okay. Board stuff, I would usually write on the board what chyle is. That is lymph with lots of lipids absorbed from the lacteal. So as we absorb nutrients, we've learned that the proteins and the carbohydrates are absorbed into the capillaries of the intestines and go through the hepatic portal system to get stored by the liver. And the lipids from your diet get absorbed into the lacteals and then are dumped into the circulatory system, which is why we have problems with blood cholesterol, not blood proteins. So chyle is that fluid, that basically emulsified, liquefied lipids that is absorbed through the lacteal into the lymphatic system. Now, figure 35.5 is the spleen. Read about the spleen. You can be asked word questions about it. We're not going to do a separate model of the spleen. And page 523 is the last page for this chapter that we care about. Anything on 524 and 525, so the antibodies, activity 3, you can completely ignore. So this is a fairly short chapter. So for quiz 5, we're going to be looking at exercise 35, the lymphatic system, the fetal circulation in exercise 32, and the blood pressure stuff in exercise 33. And this is also the last of the information that is on practical